Good evening, dear Kuwait television viewers, and welcome to another new episode of your weekly program, Kuwait in 30 Minutes. The English News and Political Programs Department has prepared a variety of reports that highlight the main events that have recently taken place across Kuwait. Our committed team of reporters is constantly engaged in numerous events with the objective of keeping you, dear viewers, aware of the latest information, regulations and policies. Our aim is to help you obtain information on the latest developments at the local scene. So stay tuned for more coming your way this evening. In our first item tonight, the Kuwait Society of Lawyers launched the second phase of the Munasinkum initiative to distribute masks. The face masks were handed to the working cadres at the front lines confronting COVID-19. The initiative came in conjunction with reports of some infections among first-line health workers. Hadi Al-Fahd has more details in the following report.
The Senate volunteer team, in cooperation with the Sabah Al-Ahmed Center for Development and Innovation, distributed face masks to working cadres at the front lines.
The aim of this participation is to help front lines from doctors, volunteers, to be protected using PPE equipment since there's a shortage in them.
The initiative came in conjunction with the recording of some infections among workers at the front lines, and it became necessary to harness all capabilities to support their efforts and to provide them with protection.
Very good and very effective participation. It's an honor for us to participate in this one.
I want to thank you very much this society for Lawyer Society in all the Kuwait, and we are stand together to save Kuwait, and I hope all the good and everything good to our country, to our second country, Kuwait.
The team delivered the first batches of masks to doctors, nurses, as well as volunteers and workers in some cooperative societies and the civil defense. Reporting to Kuwait in 30 minutes, this is Hadi Al-Fahd.
The General Administration of Civil Aviation recently held a press conference to talk about the final report of the comprehensive plan for the return of citizens from abroad, which spanned for 14 days, covering the 5 continents. The evacuation process included several preventive and health measures to ensure the health of returnees and the health and safety of society. More details in the following report.
The Civil Aviation held a press conference to speak about the final report of the evacuation of Kuwaiti citizens from abroad, which spanned for 14 days, covering the 5 continents to 58 destinations around the world.
This press conference is about the evacuation of bringing back our Kuwaitis back to Kuwait. The number of people that we brought back is 28,168. Took 168 flights to bring them back. The airlines who participated in this work is Kuwait Airways, Jazeera, Qatar Airways, and Etihad Airways.
The last stage included unscheduled trips through direct online reservations of international airlines in cooperation with the Kuwaiti embassies abroad to a number of cities in Australia, Europe, Asia, South America and Africa. The evacuation process included several preventive and health measures to ensure the health of citizens and the health of safety of society. From Kuwait International Airport, this is Hadi Al-Fahd reporting to Kuwait in 30 minutes.
The Kuwait Society of Lawyers continued its support for first-line health workers through its second phase of the Munasinkum initiative by distributing face shields among health workers at the Amiri Hospital. More details in the following report.
The Kuwait Society of Lawyers and other institutions are making every effort to confront the COVID-19 pandemic and to provide support during this crisis. Senate volunteer team distributed face shields to the doctors in Al Amiri Hospital.
We really appreciate Sanad Group for their coming to Amiri Hospital for giving the face shields for the doctors and all the volunteers in Amiri hospitals to give them the face shield. And we really appreciate and thanks Mr. Muhannad Talal Al-Sayr.
This initiative is part of the Senate team's campaign to support workers at the front lines confronting COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting to Kuwait in 30 minutes, this is Hadil Fahad.
And in the following report, a team from the Ministry of Defense sterilized the premises of the Ministry of Information as a precautionary measure in order to preserve the safety of the employees. The initiative underlined the importance of this vital ministry in carrying out its mission of providing the public with the latest developments in the fight against the spread of COVID-19. The following report will bring us more details.
The Naval Sterilization and Disinfection Unit from the Ministry of Defense continued sterilization work for the Ministry of Information building as a continuation of the Ministry of Defense's effort to take all preventive precautions to confront the threat of the coronavirus.
The decon unit is actually ready and at its full potential to decontaminate and sterilize the state of Kuwait, and it's ready whenever so. So this unit has the capability and also has the most advanced equipment and advanced materials.
This initiative comes in accordance with the integrated program for sterilizing government entities' buildings as a precautionary measure to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
We are using projects approved by WHO, World Health Organization and Ministry of Health. These projects effective for the COVID-19 the coronavirus. We're working about to decontamination and sterilizing the ministries and the governmental sectors.
All state institutions and government agencies work to make every effort in hand to confront the COVID-19 pandemic. Hadil Fahad to Kuwait in 30 minutes.
In light of the current coronavirus-related situation in Kuwait, a Salam Society for Humanitarian and Charity Work recently distributed more than 300 food baskets to a residential building under quarantine in Hawali. Keeping up with their ongoing humanitarian initiative, a Salam Society also distributed food baskets to Mish Fairgrounds and a building under quarantine in Al Ruqai area. Reporter Ghinwa Jabbouri brings us more details in the following report.
Al Salam Society for Humanitarian and Charity Work are no strangers to reaching out to communities in need and supporting them as much as possible, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Society recently distributed food to a residential building under quarantine in Hawali, an initiative that was highly appreciated by the residents.
Actually, we are here in Hawali to distributing food basket for this people who is living inside this building, and this is our goal to reach more than 40 building in this week in Ramadan. Exactly, we are start giving food basket and health basket in the beginning of COVID-19 problem, and we hope to complete giving people in need or people who's under quarantine until Ramadan finish. And actually I am very exciting and we're very proud of these volunteers, Kuwaiti people who help us to give people in need in Kuwait.
Playing a significant role during these difficult times and taking an important humanitarian initiative, Al Salam Society will continue with their humanitarian initiatives during the holy month of Ramadan and continue to distribute food to families who are affected by COVID-19 and to residential buildings under quarantine.
Al Salam charity organisation reaching out to communities in need when they need it the most. From Hawali, I'm Gemma Jabouri, reporting to you for Kuwait in 30 minutes.
Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs Mohammed Nasser Al-Jabri chaired a meeting of the Emergency Committee at the Ministry of Information through video conferencing. The meeting was attended by the Ministry's Undersecretary Munir Al-Huwairi and other senior officials. More details in the following report.
The Minister of Information and Youth Affairs, Mohammed Nasser Al-Jabri, held a meeting with the Undersecretary and the assistant agents remotely to discuss the implication of the coronavirus COVID-19 and the importance in this regard. The Minister of Information stressed the necessity of intensifying awareness shows, television, radio, and social media programs to confront the COVID-19. Al-Jabri also called to exert all media efforts and adhere to the comprehensive curfew decision in order to keep the safety of citizens and residents with the abundance of strategic stocks of food and consumer supplies. From the Ministry of Information building, this is Hadil Fahad reporting to Kuwait English News.
Kuwaiti media is keeping pace with the accelerating events of the spread of the coronavirus in the country through official television, which recruited its employees to provide around-the-clock coverage and transmit awareness reports in light of the virus outbreak in the country. More details in the following report.
Kuwaiti women are represented in the front lines of the excelling in universities and can work in all positions as professors, teachers who spread light in the minds, in ministries and in the field of media as a writer, editor and editor-in-chief.
Kuwaiti women are the strongest, and they do any channel you put, any social media outlet, you always find women on the front row with the men. Kuwaiti women are strong, Kuwaiti women are smart, and they can do a job just as good as any other guy. In 2003, the department for the English news was really small. So we were like about 4 chief editors, and 3 out of the 4 were women. And we were leaving our children at home. We were coming to the ministry for 10, 12 hours, whatever it took to cover the war in Iraq. And even then I knew, and I was supported by all my colleagues and the ministry that we can do it.
Perhaps the last vivid example of the Kuwaiti woman's generosity in her active and vital presence in dealing with the outbreak of the coronavirus, as she is present in the front lines.
Our responsibility is towards the people of Kuwait, citizens and residents alike, to deliver the news as honestly as possible, while at the same time creating awareness without fear and leading by example. Practice social distancing and stay safe at home. Everyone, please.
Kuwaiti media is keeping pace with the accelerating events of the spread of the coronavirus in Kuwait. Reporting to the English News, this is Hadil Fahad.
As a precautionary measure, the General Administration of Civil Aviation sterilized the Kuwait International Airport building after the completion of the 14-day evacuation of Kuwaitis stranded abroad. Our reporter Hadil Fahad has more in this report.
The Director General of Civil Aviation carried out a sterilization operation for Kuwait International Airport building after the completing of the evacuation of Kuwaiti citizens from abroad.
After the evacuation of Kuwaiti citizens from aboard, Civil Aviation, in cooperation with the Ministry of Defense, will sterilize Kuwait International Airport as safety procedure.
This process is an integrated part of the plan developed by Civil Aviation to strengthen preventive measures as they intensify their efforts in sterilization and disinfection operations throughout the airport, including the departures and arrivals halls and public utilities. This is Hadil Fahad reporting to Kuwait English News.
And coming up next, the Kuwaiti Lawyers Association launched a campaign for Kuwaiti nationals abroad by providing a free protective shipping service. This campaign comes to emphasize the role played by various state institutions to reduce the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. More details in the following report.
As part of the efforts made by the government agencies and various institutions, the Senate Volunteer Work Team at the Kuwait Lawyers Association launched a campaign entitled We Didn't Forget You.
We are offering a service with U-Target Logistics to free shipment for our colleagues and scholars outside Kuwait. We started with the United Kingdom. Okay, and then 2 days after that, we started with the United States, all the states. Now it's all over the world.
The weight allowed for free shipping is 2.5 kilos for students studying in America, UK, and the rest of the world, provided that the shipment includes protective materials such as the gloves, mask, and others.
It's very difficult to find it there. So in Los Angeles, it's none. You know, you can't find it anymore. Sanitizer, small piece, it's around $50. And my son said it is really not, we cannot find it.
Yesterday I've sent for them, you know, when I saw the service, I didn't believe it. It's really, I'm very proud of it, and they are all proud of it. So it's a lifesaver, as I told you. The thing is that yesterday I've sent some, you know, gloves, face masks, you know, and today now I'm sending medicine. I'm sending Ventolin spray for their chest for the three girls I have, 2 in UK, 1 in US.
The corona crisis demonstrated that youth cadres and the state institutions work as one in challenging hardship and adversity. Reporting to Kuwait in 30 minutes, this is Hadil Fahad.
In the exceptional circumstances that Kuwait faces due to the spread of coronavirus COVID-19, a number of cooperative societies provided home delivery service with the help of volunteers. In the area, a number of young volunteers from this residence area stepped forward to help deliver purchases made by the people living there during the curfew period. More details in the following report.
As part of the cooperative society's steps and in compliance with the cabinet decisions to partially curfew, a number of cooperative societies have provided delivery service to the people of the region through a number of volunteers who have gone out to serve their country and the people of their region. Rodant Hawali Coop Society included more than 400 volunteers and provided delivery service for the people of the association's area. Excuse me? So what is the procedure?
Well, basically we have three teams here. The first team received the call from our customers and give the list of the required products to the second team, which are us, the purchasers. We go inside the supermarket, we pick up all the items the customer required, and finally we pass them to our delivery who handles delivering it to our customers.
Volunteers were distributed to associations, branches and supply centers to distribute products of shelves, measure the temperature and to carry out the task of cashiers.
As a volunteer in Aroda Co-op Center, we just want to keep you safe at home, and we can do whatever you want from here until this go to the end. It's like you can look for it like you have a personal shopper, and we can do everything for you. We can kill you whenever you want. We can give you get you whatever you want, and we're here for you.
The decision to allocate each association to the residents of its region only contributed to reducing crowding, large gatherings, maintaining the association inventory by restricting it to the residents of the region and knowing the amount of goods used daily. This is Hadil Fahad reporting for Kuwait in 30 minutes.
The service of home delivery in Kuwait expanded to include the delivery of medicines from public hospitals to the homes of people with chronic diseases. It's an initiative that was carried out in cooperation between the Ministry of Health and the Kuwait Fire Service Directorate, which made all its human and logistical capabilities available to achieve this mission, including nearly 200 vehicles. More details in this report.
The General Fire Department launched in cooperation with the Ministry of Health the service of delivering medicines to home with the aim of reducing human gatherings and combating the coronavirus COVID-19.
Through the cooperation right now as a manpower and logistics, the Kuwait Fire Service Directorate is providing over 150 vehicles. Throughout these vehicles we have lieutenants and all of the officers are on their duty. We deliver all of the medicines door to door, people with chronic diseases.
The General Fire Department has made full use of the human and logistical capabilities available to the Ministry of Health to distribute medicines to patients in IZS.
Our target right now in this mission is we could cover all of the governorates and all the people in need. As we mentioned before, the objective goes back to we don't need these people with chronic illness to get out of their home. So what we're going to do, we're going to deliver all of their necessary medicines to their door.
The first stage is limited to general and specialized hospitals, yet work is underway to coordinate and prepare a plan to deliver medicines from health centers to patients with chronic disease. Reporting for Kuwait in 30 minutes, this is Hadil Fahad.
And in our last item for tonight, with well-trained men who respond swiftly to the call of duty, the Fire Service Directorate put its might at the service of other government agencies, especially the Ministry of Health. As part of this effort, the Fire Directorate shouldered the responsibility of inspecting the safety and the fire protection equipment in quarantine areas and food stores. The following report brings us the whole story.
The protection of life and the property is one of the most important objectives of the General Fire Department, in which the administration plays a societal role to counter the coronavirus COVID-19 by examining safety and fire protection equipment in health quarantines and food stores.
As the current situation and quarantine taken place for the people who are arriving in Kuwait, and the new buildings that are taking place, whether it's in the airport, Sabhan and other areas, our job represented by the prevention sector is to ensure that these areas are safe, and along with that, they are going with all of the firefighter codes.
Firefighters are keen to provide many advices to individuals as well as to protect the community.
Your action today will determine how we're going to live tomorrow. So staying at home, stay safe, don't panic, that's the ultimate message we could give you as first responders.
They are men who do not delay the call of duty and strive to provide all their efforts and energies against the coronavirus COVID-19 and limit its spread in Kuwait. Reporting to Kuwait in 30 minutes, this is Hadil Fahad.
Well, this brings us to the conclusion of tonight's episode of Kuwait in 30 minutes. We hope to see you again same time next week. Our highly dedicated team of correspondents is constantly out in the field searching for reports that matter most to you. Thank you for joining us tonight, and see you next week with more exclusive reports. Have a good night.